lives in. We can just start from here because I don't have solve content. But yeah, my friend Dakota, me and him were on a comedy festival together back in like March or April, and he's from like East Texas, like Nacogdoches.
Oh shit, yeah.
You ever been there?
I haven't been there, but I'm familiar with nasty Nacogdoches bitches. Yeah. That's what we said one time on a podcast.
Yeah. Nasty Nacogdoches. I remember, you ever read the book Blood Meridian? You ever read any Cormac McCarthy?
I ain't gonna hold you on that. I ain't read a book in a long time.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. No, I don't know, dude. I don't know what...
I'm gonna buy Fear and Loathing, not Fear and Loathing, The Hell's Angels. Hunter S. Thompson.
the one that Hunter S. Thompson
I'm literally thinking about buying that one.
I need to read that one. I need to read that one. Am I close enough to the mic?
No, you might scoot up a little. The one book I read. Yeah. Well, I lied to you because I read Joey Diaz's autobiography.
How was that?
It's him podcasting.
So I was eating this black chick's monkey,
He goes into a little bit more depth about shit, but it's like shit. You know me. I'm a super fan. Like if I'm a fan, I become a super fan. So I kind of already like.
I have Tom Segura's book.
I have that one. I just never read it.
I haven't read it yet either. I've read both of Patton Oswalt's books.
I didn't even. Yeah.
David Cross's book.
Matt McCusker wrote a book. I have
his.
Know that. Yeah, I haven't read it, but I have his. I have 3 comedian books. One of the. It's funny you say that because Jen got me it's called Messengers. It's James Hetfield's
cool.
Stories about his guitars.
Oh,
and
okay.
I haven't got it yet, but I'm gonna
would fuck with that hard. Are there pictures and stuff?
It's fucking pictures.
Oh, I want to jerk off to that.
If you're a nerd like me on Metallica, there's the More Beer guitar that he has.
Oh, really?
And I'm really like, where did that More Beer sticker come from? And it just tells you like how he got all of them and shit.
Do you watch like Gibson on the Gibson Guitar YouTube channel, The Collection?
Depending on who it is. I've watched Kirk's.
Kirk's was good. I watch all of them.
There was another one, not Gibson, but they did the Ernie Ball Theory or some shit like that. Like whoever plays the strings.
Yeah.
And the guitar player from System of a Down. That one's a really good one.
Oh, I watched. I don't know if it was the same one. No. I'm confusing it with. I'm not a big System of a Down fan. I like them okay. I'm just heavy music's not my vibe as much. But there's this one called Guitar Moves where this guitarist, producer guy, Matt Sweeney, sits down with a famous guitarist and they just fuck around on guitar and talk about guitar.
Did he do that with Keith Richards?
He did that with Keith Richards.
I've seen that one.
Yeah, so apparently he said afterwards, he's like, Keith Richards' publicist or agent or whatever said, like, you're just going to talk to him. He's not playing guitar. And he's like, okay, fine. And he says, fuck that. And he hands him the guitar.
Yeah, there's that part where he's like, so can we hear it? And you can see his face like, when he plays the Spanish guitar.
Oh, God. Yeah. I love that shit. But he's interviewed. One of my favorite ones is with, do you listen to the band Ween?
Nah.
They're sort of funny, weird, sort of like Pink Floyd meets Frank Zappa kind of shit. A lot of lore behind the band. But he does Dean Ween. His real name is... They're like one of those ones like the Ramones where they all made fake names. Like, I'm Dean and Gene Ween. They started in like junior high or high school. But his real name is Mickey Melchiondo or something like that. Oh, shit. Yeah, but they're just fucking, you could tell they've like probably been doing cocaine or something. And they're just sweating balls in the shack. But he interviewed the guy from, what's the band that came out around the same time as System of a Down? People Are Shit. Slipknot. See,
okay.
Yeah, he interviewed the dude from Slipknot, who seems like the raddest, cool
the
guy.
one with the big beard or the big tall?
Yeah, the guy with the huge beard.
Jim Root.
Is that Jim
Root?
Either
Mick Thompson or Jim Root, but I think Jim Root's a lot cooler.
I think it is Jim Root.
Because Mick is like, fuck everything.
I wonder if he's related to Stephen Root. Do you know?
I don't even know if that's his real name either.
Stephen Root is the guy who does the voice of Spitting in the Studio. He does the voice of Bill from King of the Hill.
Oh, no shit.
He's like, I don't know, Hank. But you would recognize, he's in every HBO show. He's got a small role. I'm trying to remember if he was ever in Sopranos, but he was in like True Blood. He's been in like, I think, True Detective. You've seen "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou"? Mm-hmm. He's the old blind. He's like, you can sing into my can.
Okay.
You know,
right,
I love that guy.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Stephen Root. Yeah, Jim Root, Stephen Root.
I don't know if this is confirmed, but did you? The word is that King of the Hill is based off of Alex Jones.
Really?
Like one of the characters is Alex Jones.
I wonder who.
I can't remember. I don't even know if.
Oh well, it's got to be Dale. Obviously, all the conspiracy theory, pocket sand.
One of the. See, I love shit like this.
Oh, it's great.
It's
great.
That's what I heard. Like Alex Jones, I think he said that he got a call about it. Like, or he knows the creator.
I guarantee you, Mike Judge, banging around Austin since the '90s.
See, that's what it is.
Knew
because
did you meet my friend Neil?
I don't know.
Neil, who's done stand up, he has mutual friends with Alex Jones. If you were there, he brought this guy. I think his name is shit. I can't remember what his name is. It's good I don't remember, because that guy works with Alex Jones. He produces stuff. He projects. He's a silent partner. He actually doesn't want people at large to know he works with Alex Jones. Yeah, it's because he's like, I could get like.
Yeah, it's.
What do you think about The Onion buying
your life? There is some weird shit going on with this acquisition of InfoWars. I don't know what happened.
Well, The Onion is just going to turn it into like a parody brand.
But they didn't buy it.
They didn't buy it? Is that a lie?
Some Alex Jones did some funky shit and he got it back.
Really?
That's what I mean. Like,
interesting. I wouldn't put it past him.
But I thought that was like The Onion was going to do it because they were in cahoots with Jones.
Really?
Yeah,
like early on,
like some weird shit. This is
Alex
what I'm saying.
Jones,
I stay away from Alex Jones because I love the guy. I do.
I don't know much about him other than just the.
I just know how I am.
False flag stuff.
Yeah. He got one thing really wrong. Okay.
He
got one thing really wrong. We all get things wrong. He was right about a lot of other shit too, though.
Yeah.
But I would become InfoWars if I listened to it, because I listen to Rogan, I listen to Joey Diaz, Is
Joey Diaz into the conspiracy shit too?
No, but I'm just saying, my whole thing is like, I have I go all in on guys, and if I win in, I can't. I at least have enough self-awareness to not go all in on InfoWars as much as I really want to. I can't.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about Rogan. This is my own personal opinion about Rogan. He likes to talk to interesting people. He himself, I don't think, has a lot of discernment. He's too easily swayed by people, I feel like, that can make a compelling argument, that can just spin a good yarn. And it's like, okay, this guy's an expert in was it Graham Hancock? Hancock? Is that his name? Mm-hmm. He talks all the stuff, and I really like some of the stuff he says. But then when he gets into like ancient civilizations and stuff, you're like, dude, this is all speculative.
He just had two guys on about.
As fuck.
It's called dedunking.
Dedunking?
Yeah, these two guys.
What is that?
He's kind of he's like a produced employed, and he kind of goes in and talks about he'll if a mainstream archaeologist, it's fucking crazy that archaeology is politicized, but he'll go in and
in what way
so let's go into this shit, because these two guys just went on Rogan this week. You should listen to it.
Okay,
there's a site that's called Göbekli Tepe, some shit like that. It's in Turkey. And it puts to...
Okay, I have a vested interest in this because one of my coworkers, his wife is Turkish. They have a home in Turkey. I know more about Turkey than the average person.
It's not even that it's politicized. I think there's like mainstream archaeology. There's a lot of money behind it for different reasons.
Well, there's also biblical archaeology that has a vested...
So what these guys were saying was... There's two things, so they were excavating Göbekli Tepe, and then they stopped all of a sudden. They were like, we're done.
Okay.
And this site proves that humans were a lot more advanced and older than mainstream had already said.
Okay.
So it's older than everything that was on.
I think I've seen this.
I think it was not even built, but thriving 6,000 years before Stonehenge and shit like that. So
how far back? Stonehenge is 10,000 years back, right? Or more.
I think this one is about 11,000 years old.
Oh wow, okay.
And it coincides with the younger dryas impact that actually we know happened. So there's two ideas behind this.
Okay.
That this guy, it's all speculative, right?
Okay, word.
That Göbekli Tepe was intentionally, they believe this is actually, was intentionally buried. Now,
okay.
Why was it intentionally buried? They believe that you can go the route of this younger dryas impact theory. Y'all can look it up.
Okay.
And that kind of like, so we get into climate change with this.
How the fuck does climate change? Okay.
We get into climate change with this.
Right.
It gets deep like this.
Okay.
So I'll give you another one because you said religion. There's a lot. There could be some very good, compelling evidence that this is where Noah's Ark was built and landed. And the only reason I say this because it would be hotly contested with Turkey because Turkey's a large Muslim country and they don't want Christians coming in, which I get. It would be a Christian site.
So I also know a little bit about this because supposedly biblically speaking, if we're talking about biblical history or whatever, history.
It's all speculative. You never know.
The Ark, Noah's Ark, landed on Mount Ararat, which is on the border of Turkey and Armenia. And you can also get into the political thing because I've talked so back like right around World War I. I'm sure you know about this. There's the genocide where Turkish were genociding like I think 1 million Armenians or something.
System of a Down talks about it.
System of a Down does talk about it a lot because it's
nobody recognizes it. Right?
There's this well no a lot of people recognize it.
The U.S. hasn't recognized it as a
I'm not
genocide.
Sure. Well, my coworker Nathan.
He would know this,
whose wife is Turkish. He's like, it is vastly overstated. And I'm like, God damn it, Nathan.
So he's
everyone he lived
Ottomans,
there
right?
for 7 years. Yeah, it was the Ottoman Empire. Yeah, but I mean, it was the end of the Ottoman. I think the Ottoman Empire did that break up around
it ended after World War
I.
Yeah,
okay.
that ended.
So yeah, my World War II history is better than my World War I. But I do 20th century American history I know all that shit. Archduke Franz Ferdinand, also a good band. Franz Ferdinand, you ever fuck with that band? Yeah. But whatever. Long story short, supposedly there's a quote from Hitler where he's like, hey, you fuckers remember the Armenian genocide? And they're like, no, I never heard of it. And he's like, yeah, no one's going to remember this either.
Well, fuck.
But I mean, they're still Armenians. They're still Kardashians.
They say it, yeah.
I'm friends with this comedian, Nico Agemian. I haven't met him face to face, but we've communicated online. He puts a lot of shows together in El Paso. Cool guy.
Shane Gillis told a joke that...
He's an Armenian.
So... Tony Hinchcliffe was Archduke Ferdinand because if his joke that about Puerto Rico caused them not to win the presidency, then we would have gone to World War III.
Oh yeah,
and Tony Hinchcliffe was Archduke Ferdinand.
Yeah, you know, speaking of conspiracy theories, one of my favorite conspiracy theories. And this one is not a political one at all. It's not like JFK assassination or any, and that one's not overtly political to me.
How do you say that word? The Reputer film.
Oh, Zapruder? Yeah. I mean,
they just AI'd it like to make it more clear. Ooh, looks like that guy driving the car shot his ass.
My friend Abe, the one that I want to have on the podcast, I'm gonna have him on. He's hilarious. He's got this joke about how someone could have if someone assassinated RFK, like it's really good he didn't become president because like someone would have tried to assassinate him, would have gone in his like neck and come out his dick.
Oh my
like
God. The magic bullet.
It was me and Chris Heiss were fucking rolling at that joke.
What's your favorite conspiracy?
Casper Hauser. Do you know about Casper Hauser? Okay, so I'm gonna have to look it up. I think it's early 1800s. It's before it's early 19th century. And it's Caspar, K-A-S-P-A-R, and it's born April 30th, 1812. So in like the late 1820s, early 1830s, something like that, he just appeared. 1828. Okay, he just appeared in Munich, Germany. He was in his late teens. He was confused. He couldn't speak good English. And he claims he's like, I've lived my entire life in a cave. I was blindfolded when someone would come in and bring me food. And I've never seen another human being. Okay. So he lived there. And he was super susceptible to like supposedly just the smell of wine would get him drunk. That seems ridiculous, but he was a very strange guy. He ended up living with this doctor, and this doctor was like his caretaker, and he's very childlike because he was completely uneducated. But he learned to talk and communicate, and he was sort of like just very simple because he, again, not really educated in any way. Somebody tries to kill him at some point. They slash the top of his head or whatever, and the killer had a mask on, and no one knew who it was. And then later, a couple of years later, sometime later, someone ends up stabbing him, and he dies from the wound. Okay, so supposedly he was a member of the royal family of Germany, Bavaria, something like that. They switched him with a dead baby because right around the same time he would have been born, there was like a baby that like died in the crib or something. So supposedly they wanted that family lineage gone. He would have risen to power. World War I probably wouldn't have happened because he would have been in the seat. World War II wouldn't have happened. It would have changed in the next 200 something years of history. That's a crazy one because I love that it's. I mean, and it's speculative, obviously, but I don't know if they've done. Yeah, but he's so
he was a royal family member.
Supposedly, he was then a teen. Okay, I think I said Munich, but it was Nuremberg. There's a movie about it. Do you know who the film director Werner Herzog is? Yeah. I love Werner Herzog so much.
He's an interesting character.
He did a movie in the late 70s, early 80s called The Enigma of Caspar Hauser, and it's basically his life story. But he shot it in Munich because Munich looks very old and ancient. I want to go to Germany. Munich is one that I want to go to for sure. But it was Nuremberg, but Nuremberg didn't look old anymore, so they shot it in Munich. And I think that's where Herzog is from. So. What are some of your other favorite?
Herzog went on this Meat Eater podcast, and his story is pretty interesting.
Oh,
about
amazing
his mother
guy!
And them like running away from all the war. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I'm fucking. That's a
well, crazy. What's one of your lesser known ones
conspiracy theory?
Yeah, like ones that is not.
Theo Von is from a royal family.
Oh, see, I heard one about Theo. Is it like a South American?
His dad is moved to South America.
Okay,
but his dad comes from a lineage of.
Yeah, no, I read a little bit about that.
That's not even a conspiracy theory.
Is it not?
It's just people jumping into shit. Twitter's crazy, bro. You gotta.
I saw a Reddit post about it.
Whatever's on Reddit goes to Twitter. I don't know. My lesser known conspiracies.
I like
the idea. The story behind Ashton Kutcher is pretty.
Oh, I don't know this.
Like his girlfriend dying, him actually being. I don't know. Like
is it pre-fame? Like is it before he was famous?
He started to get famous, and his girlfriend died mysteriously.
Was his girlfriend an actress?
I don't remember. Okay. But then, like him defending.
Danny. Yeah.
Masterson.
Yeah,
him
Danny
defending Masterson.
Yeah, he's like, that rapist is my friend.
He was defending him and then Masterson was like, bro, basically was like, this is what I've heard. Allegedly. Don't want to get sued.
Hey, this is alleged.
Allegedly, like, Masterson was like, I know the truth about your life.
Yeah, he blackmailed him, basically.
You better fucking defend my... Because
he's into like heard that one.
And his sex trafficking shit is like...
Well, and Kutcher was also friends with Diddy. They rolled in the same cruise.
They killed Brittany Murphy.
They killed Brittany Murphy? Did they kill Brittany Murphy's husband?
Somebody did.
Did they kill Anna Nicole Smith and her son?
I don't know much about that one.
That one's...
I'm more like... Again, I'm more invested in this...
the Diddy?
No. This... Goblikki Tepe shit, man. That shit's
I'm gonna have to look that up.
And it gets into like real shit. Like this is fact. Like the poles are shifting very rapidly, and if that happens, we're in trouble.
So what does this shit being buried have to do with climate change?
Also, I just saw something about basically, so the ocean currents are gonna disappear very soon, maybe in our lifetime, which would really fuck shit up.
Wait, the ocean's gonna just become still?
Yeah.
There's not
why? There's like actual like because it has since the 70s slowed down dramatically.
I haven't heard this.
Yeah.
Does it have to do with climate change, or is it just...
It's all to do with climate change. Now, let me just say this.
I'm surprised you're not a climate change denier.
Now, let me just say this, okay? Have we as humans contributed something to this planet? Yes. Should we do our part in protecting this planet? Yeah. Climate change has happened forever. The fucking Sahara was a fucking oasis back in the day. Now, the idea is like, these World Economic Forums, the WEF, they're all trying to implement shit that would just be more control over people. So when you have an idea like the Younger Dryas impact theory, telling people like these fucking crazy ass changes happen all the time, whether we're here or not. And
what you're saying is they're using climate change as an excuse to as a means to take control over people?
Yeah. But climate change is happening. Like,
that is interesting.
With the pole shifting, like nobody can do anything about that. It happens over thousands of years anyways. So when those poles shift, shit gets real. And so what they think is the pole shifted 11,000 years ago, which made us very susceptible to...
Would that have been the end of the last ice age?
This is the end of the last ice age. The Younger Dryas impact theory was when the argument isn't that it happened, because we know it happened. It's what happened. Like, and Graham Hancock believes like that pieces of a comet broke off and hit us, and it changed overnight. Like, it melted everything overnight. So like with the pole shifting, it makes us more susceptible to asteroids and this shit coming from, which again, like if the Earth is shifting and all this weather patterns are happening, you're gonna have super volcanoes, you have tsunami, and the WEF and all them are saying it's because of gas cars and cows and shit. When it's like, okay, maybe we sped up the process 100 years. But that shit's gonna happen anyways,
Sure, yeah.
It's inevitable. So it's like,
I mean, I don't really follow like.
And I'm not a climate change denier.
No. It's just
I just don't even know about this whole global warming shit.
It's like nature versus nurture. It's like, yes, we are doing things, but like this kid is fucked up because their parents were assholes and their parents have mental problems and addiction, and it's like nature or nurture.
It's also to me, it's just funny. It's funny to hear people like them try to chastise us. Like, you and I, our carbon footprint is nothing compared to
huge corporations,
to a corporation or like countries that don't give a fuck.
China doesn't give a fuck.
India, China, they don't give two shits.
But
they're building coal plants out the ass.
Well, but I mean, you also have to look at it from an economic perspective. They're trying to grow and build and get to the prosperity of where the U.S. was in the 80s.
Another conspiracy is like,
they're like 50 years behind us.
It's intentional that they, like, China will, like, and this is fact, will fund a lot of like what do you call it, like
political campaigns,
like climate groups and shit. So they'll fund all this money in so that we pass laws that don't allow us to do what we need to do to maintain an economic power.
Okay.
Because if we're going green, which is like we're not there yet. Like if the shit was there and we could go green, let's go green, but it's not it's not there yet, and so they're like funding all of this shit to make us go green while they're just fucking fueling their fucking economy with so it's all that, it's all of that. And
I'm looking forward to the Star Trek future where people are our currency is the betterment of mankind, and I don't think it's ever going to happen.
Well, let's hope
it's a great idea.
Let's hope that Putin doesn't fucking pull that button and fire off a fucking warhead at it. Did you see that there was no warhead. I did not. There was no warhead attached to it, but he fired an intercontinental ballistic missile into Ukraine. And let me tell you,
where did it land? Where did the ICBM land?
And some fucking again, we're fighting over a country we don't know nothing about, but it landed somewhere in that region.
It's interesting to me.
It didn't kill nobody, but he fired it off.
It's a threat. It's like, I got the shit.
It was
I can
a
put
serious
the nukes
fucking
in it.
threat. It was because I was reading about people.
I didn't hear about it.
I was reading about people were like, "Yo, we had no warning. It just came." So let's just have a silver. Okay, look, I always look at if that motherfucker is crazy enough to fire, he's got a lot of reasons to, anyways. But if he were to fire a fucking warhead and it hit somewhere around here, guess what? We ain't ever gonna know it. So we might get lucky and just boom, gone.
Yeah,
Game
no,
over.
that's I've heard I've heard people say
You can't defend against it.
Specifically, Dan Soder. He's like, dude, I'm glad I live in New York.
Yeah, you'd be
because
dead.
he's like, I'm not going to be part of the inevitable, like mutant freaks from the fallout or whatever. I'm not going to have to live my life in a shelter, because why would you want to do that? What kind of life is that? It ain't.
I know it's a will to live.
It ain't. I love post-apocalyptic shows. The Last of Us.
That's a great show.
Fallout. The Walking Dead was good for like 4 or 5 seasons. I love that shit. Those kind of movies. The Matrix. I don't want to live in that shit. I'm not going to be part of the resistance. I'm doing this.
Yeah,
I don't even own a gun. I might someday though.
You need to.
I know. I've thought about it. It's
but what the fuck is a gun gonna do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, basically it's like, I don't want to get tortured.
It's like Biden said. It's like, you guys have your guns, but we have fucking. Even if the military were to turn its back on us, it was like Ultimately, I was just saying that to prove that legitimately, like, I'm not even trying to be like funny or scary. No. At the end of the day, you're on your own, buddy. Well, you are on your own.
And that's a way of looking at life too. And I mean,
again, this is why I have a problem with this shit, like this nanny state shit. Like, I don't want to give my power up to anybody, like, to control like food, water, like, you know what I mean?
I would argue that none of us really have any power anyway.
Not really, but if you own land, you might have a little bit of a chance to like be able to feed yourself.
I mean,
if you had
stockpiling, I think is a much better idea. Stockpiling living in a bomb shelter is a better idea than like, I can grow my own shit.
You could do both.
Yeah, but, you could.
But look, even like me and my stepdad talking about it, like, what if a fucking tornado just, God forbid, wrecked Lubbock, and you're on your fucking own? Look what happened in North Carolina. You know?
Hey, we're in a red state. Trump's going to take care of us.
See,
Daddy Trump is going to send the EPA.
I feel bad for people like that.
The RFK EPA.
I love Trump, but boy, oh boy, I'm like, fuck that. I'm not relying on none of that shit. Fuck, I don't trust the government. Whoever's in charge.
I mean, it's one of those what ifs. I mean, there hasn't been a bad tornado in Lubbock in 50 years.
But it happens, and it does. It's possible. Very quick. Shit could go south very quickly.
I mean, I have family that, like, from Oklahoma that have had homes destroyed because, you
got to be careful, Just be prepared. I don't know. I have other things. I'm trying to think of other conspiracies I like.
I love that. My favorite one is that what's his name? Bill Hicks became Alex Jones. Have you heard that one?
No.
That one's really funny because they both were part of like that Sacred Cow Media. Like that was, I think, one of Bill Hicks' business partners that they like were producing, like albums and they did a video, like this funny movie called Ninja Bachelor Party from the late 80s. You should check out. It's pretty funny. It's almost sort of like Kung Fury? Is that what it's called? It's like that parody of Kung Fu movies. Kung Pao. I forget what it's called. I've never seen it, but it's sort of it's a white guy like wearing a Bruce Lee wig. It's kind of funny. Why'd you call me? You use every excuse to call me racist.
It's fun, bro.
It is fun.
I could throw out the jab that they like to call the left. I could call you pedophile, but I know you're not that.
No. I like women older than me typically. Just within a couple of years.
One side calls you racist, the other side will call you pedophile.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's funny with the the name calling and everything between the two sides and villainizing and whatever, because you hold ideals of both sides. You know, and I do as well. I think a little bit less so. I mean, I would say a good 80+% of what I feel is aligned to the left, but
I'm what you might call a libertarian.
Yeah.
But whatever.
That's that. I think that that term is so broad.
Yeah,
But I didn't know that, like, a true libertarian, like a libertarian, I didn't know until fairly because I have two friends, two of my comedian friends, Jason Cave and Jay Austin Graham. Shout out to them. They're both based in Midland. Jason does comedy in Lubbock more often, but Jay will come here. Jay's fucking hilarious. But I didn't realize like Jason has posted a lot of stuff like, we send X amount of money to bomb kids or whatever, in Gaza. They're very anti-military. I didn't know libertarian.
Pretty much like anti
any government funded kind of.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm with it. You're
not anti-military.
I'm pretty.
You wouldn't join.
I almost did.
Make you cut your hair, dude.
Yeah. I think. That reckless spending is what's gotten us in all this fucking trouble.
No, military spending is out of hand.
I think we have to still maintain. I don't think we should police the whole fucking world. But how do you maintain? I also believe in American supremacy because I don't want to see any other country ruling this fucking
American supremacy. I feel like has gotten us in a lot of trouble.
It's a weird thing to think about, but all these people talking shit. You really want that American dollar being number one,
yeah.
And ultimately, you do.
Well, if the funny thing is, if all countries, if we could get dictatorial type leadership out. How long has Putin been in power? 20 plus years?
Early 2000s.
Yeah, like 20 years.
But he's been around forever.
He's been around. Yeah, he was KGB. I mean, he's in his 70s, right? He's an older guy.
He's old.
I mean, he's literally probably killed people with his bare hands. I believe it easily. Maybe some garroting wire.
He's KGB.
Yeah, KGB. Yeah, he was doing all kinds of shit. I bet him and G. Gordon Liddy probably got up to some trouble. He's like, hey, I'm bald too, or whatever. G. Gordon Liddy, famously one of the Watergate guys, the CIA that got thrown under the bus. There's
another one, Watergate.
Yeah, but I don't know if G. Gordon Liddy's still alive or not. But those type of people that are just they're sneaky, they're underhanded. Their whole way of thinking is like, how can I fuck other people over? Dictators in the Middle East and in no more. If all the world could agree, like, okay, non-religious government, we can't have what do you call that?
Theocracy.
Theocracy. No, none of that. You let women have power too. Don't no.
This is where
this is where you differ, women in power.
No. Like this is where again my conspiracy brain is because I don't know what it is, but there is I think even Putin and Xi Jinping and Trump, I think they answer to something.
What do you think? What do you think they answer to? The Illuminati?
I don't want to say it's Illuminati, but you can't have. I think there's powers. Maybe it's just different pockets of power, but maybe it's just corporations. But they can't have people governing themselves.
Yeah,
that's
I'm looking up this movie.
That's very dangerous to them. I think that's why Trump, unfortunately, like whatever you feel about him the way you do, I think that's why a fan. I think that's why he scares a lot of, maybe the deep state establishment because the people voted for him. It's like, oh no, we can't have the people govern for themselves.
Well, we got to govern them. What's the logic behind the people voted for him as opposed to the people voted for Biden?
It's called
people voted for Obama.
It's called populism. And
I understand the concept of populism,
but I don't think these people that really run the show can. They're very afraid of populism because that means we have the power. We actually control the narrative. Like we want this guy in. Yeah. We're gonna get him in, which is the way it should be. It should be. This election showed me our vote kind of actually does matter. But I think that there's like even in America, the deep state, whatever, is like afraid of that. Of the people running themselves, and
I get
if
that.
we overwhelmingly voted for Kamala, then let her run. Regardless, like we deserve the government we voted for.
Yeah.
So, I think that poses a threat to power.
Yeah, clearly Trump did win.
He won,
the popular vote and the electoral. I was surprised and disappointed, but I'm not giving up hope at this point. I'm like, hey, this shit could.
Nobody should give up hope. We're all Americans.
And I think a lot of people are looking at it from certain perspectives, though. Like this is a blow to women's rights because he's the one. This is a blow to LGBTQ rights or whatever because he historically puts these really extremist type people in. I don't even know what any of Matt Gates' positions are other than, hey, young pussy. Yeah. I don't know any.
Yeah, he was a disaster.
Yeah. As AG, that's crazy.
I'm glad he wasn't. I kept my mouth shut about that.
I think putting Mike Huckabee as ambassador to Israel is a bad idea.
We got to get all these war hacks out of here, bro.
Yeah. But I just know he's super duper evangelical, and that kind of, he's going to have a slant, his Christian ideals. Of course, he's not going to have a vested interest in trying to peace here. He's like, no, the Israelis need to kill all these dirty Muslims. That's what I think he thinks, not what I think. That's, The
super evangelists, they really want an Israel run by the Jews. They really want it.
Well, yeah, and it
favors them
in league with the second coming, like
it favors them.
And I don't believe in that. I personally don't believe in the rapture and the revelation and all that stuff. I mean, whether or not there's a God, whatever. I'm basically agnostic at this point, but I don't want anyone to think that that's the way the best way shit's going to be, because it completely cuts out the Palestinian people that have historically lived in that area just as long. Longer. Yeah. And it sucks. And I think it's like, why, just because they're of a different religion, and I think religion has less to do with it than fucking tribalism. This tribalistic people in Lubbock hate Amarillo. People in Amarillo are indifferent.
It's pretty. I've really avoided that in particular.
I don't have a say in it.
I don't know much about it, and I also am not Jewish or Muslim or Israeli or Palestinian.
Yeah, as much as I like to joke, I have no ties to Judaism, even though with my last name and Dick.
This is just me making an educated guess that we would really want our ally controlling that area. It's strategic for us.
Strategic. See, you're thinking in a perspective of strategic, if bad war came to it, if there was conflict. I'm just thinking everybody should be treated like, hey, let's not kill each other. Is my perspective too naive?
No, those people have been fighting before Jesus. Those people were fighting each other.
Oh yeah, if you're talking the Bible, that goes back to what is it? God damn it, not Abraham and Isaac. Abraham had another son. Abraham had Isaac and Ishmael, and Ishmael supposedly went on. Do what?
Gilgamesh. That's who he was.
I think I've heard that. I think I forgot that. But I've also heard people say that Noah's through, because where did the different ethnic groups come from? Like Shem, Ham, and Japheth, the three sons of Noah. One of them was white, one of them was Asian, and one of them was Muslim. And I'm like, what about Native American? What? Those are the three major ethnic groups. There's a lot of ethnic groups. That's
pretty interesting.
Where do ethnic groups come from?
Archaeology, Native Americans being here. They think that they've been here a lot. Maybe hundreds of thousands of years. The Clovis First people. It's right down the street.
What is that? I don't know what that is.
There's a site on in Clovis, in that area. I don't know if it, but that. So they had there was another mainstream belief that humans, the first humans on this continent, came. I don't know the time, but so there was already a set date. But then they found the Clovis First site. Okay. Which proved that
this is Asia? What Native Americans came from Asia? Across the Bering Strait.
So that was the original.
I think that's a pretty common.
But now I've heard that again, this kind of goes back to Graham Hancock too, that they came from, that the idea is that ancient people were a lot more sophisticated than we know.
Yeah, I watched this thing the other day. Yeah.
So there's a belief that they came from, they came all the way down to South America.
Oh, interesting.
And everything here kind of just was...
Because that would have been like a Pangea.
They came from the Bering Strait, right?
Bering Strait, yeah.
But they didn't stop here first. They went down to the Amazon.
Oh, and then they came back up?
They came back up.
Oh, interesting.
And...
Because the Incans and the Mayans, that shit's way... And those are the big civilizations down there.
There was one before that, the Olmecs.
Oh, the Olmecs, yeah, I remember,
They're saying there was one before that that started it
all. Interesting.
And they started spreading upwards instead of going from here down. They went all the way down. Horses and all that shit disappeared. Then they just started coming back up, and that's where you get Native Americans.
Yeah. And what was the Mexico City Tenochtitlan? Tenochtitlan? Was that the Mayans or the Aztecs?
It was Aztecs. That's a gnarly fucking history. I listened to a podcast about them.
It's very interesting.
Because they were very sophisticated. This was what's fun to think about. They were like, they had art. Like the king would read poetry. They were dancing. They had this sophisticated society that like we have.
Yeah.
But they were also sacrificing humans.
And
exactly. They didn't even. So when you're doing art and shit, you might have contest that shit.
Yeah.
No, they didn't never even mention their human sacrifices in their art because it was just
it was just part of their shit. It was just part of their. That was more their religion.
This is what I've heard. They were so crazy that that there was neighboring tribes that were like, there's like history that the neighboring tribes of the Aztecs were like, can you stop sacrificing us? Let's make a truce between us and you. We'll do what you say. Just quit coming and taking us.
Yeah.
And the Aztecs were like, no, we need you for sacrifices. We're not doing that. And guess what?
They're like,
and guess what?
Fuck off,
and
your cattle.
Guess what, white folks? When Cortez destroyed that Aztec Empire with his 60 men, he also used all those people, and they were like, "Hey, we'll help you guys out because they've been sacrificing you. You guys help us destroy these motherfuckers."
Oh yeah, and that's probably how they villainized them back then because they're like, "Yeah, we had to kill these fuckers. They were killing these other guys, sacrificing them to for their sun god or whatever."
The Aztecs.
That's crazy.
Mesoamerica, obviously, because that's where I come. I've been getting into that a lot.
Yeah.
I really didn't even believe in astrology until I learned about Mayan astrology. They have their own thing.
Well, what people consider astrology, like I'm a Virgo. That is so much different.
I thought it was hokey pokey shit.
Yeah, no, there's some. I mean, the Aztec calendar or the Mayan calendar, 2012. That shit. I had like one of those. My ex sister-in-law got for me back in Mexico. It was like the fucking, you know what I'm talking about. It was really
I know
cool.
exactly what you're talking about.
It was
I learned about it, and I got to recall it because they had.
I forgot.
The reason they had a very sophisticated, the Mayans had a very sophisticated counting system, which is what allowed them to. Somehow they were able, because they had 0 and they counted. You know how we count in tens, like 1 through 9, and you have the 1. They had a similar, but it was in 20s.
Okay, and so deca.
Yeah.
Or was it?
Yeah, whatever that word is. But because of their math, they were able to count out. They could go back all this time and know what constellation was there that day.
Oh, wow. So they aligned it with the star. Oh, wow, that's crazy.
So because of their counting system, and they had a real big belief in numbers. I don't remember the exact numbers. Their specific numbers.
Yeah.
They had their like life cycles. So from when they created that calendar, it forwarded. The day was December 12th, 2012, was the end of their third cycle, and it started the fourth one, which was whatever. I don't know what that means.
So was that just the last calendar that people found, and they're like, yeah, we just hadn't made the new one yet. No. Why did people think that it was going to end in 2012?
I'm going to sound like an idiot because I think they believed that shit like the cycle of life was this X amount of thousands of years.
Okay.
So it just so happened that their third cycle ended that day.
Okay.
And it started a new one.
Yeah.
So
did you ever watch that movie, 2012?
Yeah, I did.
That wasn't very good.
I used to be scaredy cat back then, so it scared
you would have been a kid.
It scared the shit out of me. I didn't understand
Josh
shit.
is trying to call me. He's like, dude, I overslept.
You goofed, bro.
Yeah, no. We'll get him on the next one. It's cool. He had a show last night in Abilene, him and Tanner, so I wanted to talk about that. But no, this has been fun. I think we can go maybe another 5 or 10 and then wrap up. But that's really interesting, yeah. With the looking at the dates, and I'm not as interested in like the stars and shit, so I've never really.
That's what I heard. This is what I heard on the podcast was the reason they were so advanced in their astronomy, not astrology. Well, I guess both was because of their number system. They really understood numbers and. They spent they would like chop their balls off and fucking do cocaine and look at the sky.
Cocaine.
These guys are pretty nuts. Yeah.
Yeah, they cut off their pretty nuts.
No pun intended.
Man, Yeah, it's really interesting. So I'm gonna tie this back around to something else I heard one time. Dude, quit calling me. Hey Josh, we're wrapping up the podcast. Can you tell us something about the show last night?
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
I had to get bombed because I bombed.
You bombed?
No, Tanner says I did good, but it's just the.
Did you get video?
Yeah, I got video.
Okay, well I want to see it and I'll judge.
Yeah, we both did good. It's just me. I feel like.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got to get together later and smoke. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This is future guest Joshua Signs, past guest when I was audio only, and then now future guest. But me and Roy are wrapping up. But I'll talk to you later, bro.
All right, bro. Y'all be safe.
He always ends by saying "be safe." I'm like, yes, I will be safe recording this podcast. I won't touch this wire.
Gesture,
no, it is. No, I love Josh. Josh is one of my favorite human beings in the world. But okay, so bringing this back around, I heard this theory that humans may have, we may have encountered like UFOs, aliens, things like that, but the human mind, like, it could be so far outside our understanding. This is why I love the movie The Arrival so much. Because the aliens are so fucking different than how they've ever been depicted in a movie before.
Is that the one where she's trying to figure out the language?
Yeah, they're these weird octopus, and they're like, and then they make her fucking,
She finally figures it out. That's a great movie.
Yeah, I know. It's a very interesting movie. I rewatched it. I didn't get it as much the first time. So basically the idea is that that technology, that whatever, maybe so far outside our understanding, like we've never seen this. It's so far outside we misinterpret what we're seeing
like
and see it as something else, or we don't even see it at all. It's just
like like insects and animals can see
exactly,
things that we can't see.
So somebody posed the thought that when the Spanish or Portuguese or whoever the fuck encountered these Native American groups, because a lot of they say that they saw the men on horses and they thought they were a completely other being, like a god or something. Yeah. When they saw the boats, they're like, what is this fucking thing coming towards me? And I'm thinking about the ending of the movie Apocalypto, where the boats are coming. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So what do you think about that in terms of UFOs and shit? Because I mean the government has basically said,
you want to go a little longer?
Yeah, we can go a little longer. I mean, I don't have I'm going to see a movie.
That camera had like 90 minutes, so
yeah, we can go another 10 or 15 and then we can do round 2.
So what do I think about it?
Yeah, short version.
I gotta.
Does the American government, do we have UFOs and aliens and aren't telling people?
Oh shit, I got a whole bunch. We got to go a little longer. So I recently heard this. There's another conspiracy.
Okay.
That they're in the ocean. And
I like that one. The Abyss.
And there's a giant fucking ship down there. So this was the idea.
Is it in the Mariana Trench?
I don't know where it's at.
Okay.
So the idea is that there's a floating base in the ocean, and that every UFO we see is because that floating ship is a base, and they build every UFO to specifically do something. So it's built and it flies off. Each one is different based on the needs.
So that's why there's so many different
ones.
Okay.
Because
so it's like, okay,
maybe it's a reconnaissance, maybe it's
Terry and Corvo, you guys are on anal probe duty, and you get this ship, you get an X-Wing,
and they're each
you get a TIE fighter to go abduct, hit rednecks.
They're each built to a specific duty every time they leave the base. Now,
that's cool. They're like Transformers.
I also believe that's one. It wouldn't be out of. I'll just say this first and foremost. Okay. I find it funny when people just dismiss it like they know, like, oh, aliens know. They're fuck.
No, I will give credence to this.
People don't know, and the universe is so goddamn big.
It is goddamn big.
I think that I'm starting to lean more into that they've been here forever.
Mm-hmm. Are they in I can't think of the word. Are they in collusion with the world governments?
If what I've heard to be true, and I kind of could see that, is they these crash sites, they're not crash sites, they're donations to us. That the aliens just kind of, here you go, see what you can do with it. And that each country, major country, has one. And that we're basically in a space race to reverse engineer it. And I do think some of the things you see in the sky are us. I do think the orbs, some of the orbs are, I would hope they're us. Maybe human technology. But
well, I mean, we didn't know about the stealth bomber for years
for a
after.
long time, buddy. So I do think I think all countries probably have some sort of weird shit.
For sure, yeah.
And I do think that it comes from aliens. I believe that. I also don't know if they're interdimensional beings that can just, that, you know, maybe early humans thought of as angels and demons. Maybe there is a real life fight for good and evil for us in a weird way.
It's like that movie. It's just like the movie Dreamcatcher, where you've got the two aliens. The one that's the do you have to bleep the word retarded? No. The one that's the retarded kid, Duddits, and it's Donnie Wahlberg playing him as an adult.
Oh shit!
And then the other, and have you ever seen this movie?
No.
It's based on a Stephen King book. I don't know if the book is good, but it's crazy. It's got Jason Lee, Thomas Jane, Morgan Freeman plays the bad guy. And it's like it's these group of friends. It's like Stand By Me meets Alien Invasion. It's like this story of these four kids, and they befriend this little retarded kid. And it turns out he wasn't a retarded kid. He's a shape-shifting alien. It's really weird. It's kind of funny. But these aliens, they have these things called shit weasels, and they like get inside humans' bodies through their anus, and they like hide in the toilet, and it goes up this. I think it goes up Jason Lee's ass. I can't remember. You
should watch this one called The Phenomenon.
What, with
no, not The Phenomenon.
Fire in the Sky?
Fire in the Sky is another one. But no, this one is a documentary.
Oh, okay.
It's about this town in Brazil.
Okay.
That these group of girls supposedly stumbled upon an alien that had crashed in.
Nice.
So their ship was fucked up by a lightning storm, and it crashed into this town, Virginia, Brazil.
Okay.
So what's crazy about this is I used to work with a Brazilian not too long ago, and I was like, "Do you know about Virginia?" And he was like, "Oh, the aliens." And I was like,
"Is it spelled like Virginia?"
I don't know how to spell it, but there's a documentary about it.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
James Fox. He's been on Rogan, and so this town, these group of girls saw the alien, and then the military comes and picked up the alien. And I mean,
they're Brazilian. They probably fucking killed it.
No.
The girls died?
No. The guy, so one of the military men actually grabbed it with his hands.
Oh, shit.
And he ended up getting really sick, and the hospital just shut down. Whoa. Because they brought the alien and the guy, and his story just wipes off. And supposedly they took x-rays of it. They put it in a bag and took x-rays of it. And then the U.S. military just comes and takes it and leaves.
Yeah. And as soon as the U.S. hears about that shit.
The girl's story is pretty compelling.
What? How long ago was this?
In the 80s.
Okay, so not that long ago.
But the documentary came out not too long ago.
Okay.
So they're older now.
Yeah. They'd be in their 50s now,
and the
40s
ladies,
or 50s.
The girls, they said that the being was very scared. And it was weak. And it stunk. Man. And it stunk really bad.
Yeah, of course.
So, again, it just goes back that these things probably could come from the ocean.
Yeah.
And their skin isn't.
Well, yeah, and they're like
And I've heard this idea. You remember like 2 years ago when all these cows were like getting mutilated with nothing?
I don't remember
in this area. There was in like Texas.
I know that's a common alien trope.
But the conspiracy I heard was that aliens do that because they need their saliva to put on their skin to protect them when they're here. It's just it all goes back, and I really, really want to believe this shit. I really do. I really wish this shit was real.
Okay, here's
but the Virginia thing, like, let me see. I gotta tell you what it's called.
Okay, while you're, Stavros Halkias was recently on Theo Von's podcast, and
Moment of Contact. It's on Amazon.
Moment of Contact. Okay, cool. I'm gonna watch that.
Please do
soon. But it got me thinking. You talking about that? The idea of like the aliens killing the cows for their saliva. That seems like something you would see like in a weird X-Files movie type of thing. Like I feel like if I don't know where. I mean, I just started doing like the improv thing, which I'm enjoying. I'm the podcasting, I'm doing a lot of shit. If anything I'm doing hits and I get to like make shit for a living, I'm gonna dip my toes into making movies or shorts or something. I want
to do that too.
Yeah, and because I mean, I've got there are people within our circle that would be hilarious in acting roles, whatever.
We started a cult that's a Stavros.
Yeah, no, he's talking about it on the. I haven't watched it yet. I'm gonna watch it. Yeah. Well, let's get together and watch it sometime. If I can, get a few of us and watch it. But yeah, I love that shit because I was born the year E.T. came out. E.T., one of my favorite movies of all time. I love Close Encounters. I love that because aliens, I like the idea that it's cool movies with malevolent aliens, but I like sort of the benevolent or the they're not here to hurt us. They're here to maybe exchange ideas, like The Arrival. Like I love that shit. And scary aliens, X-Files aliens are awesome too.
I like that idea of like that, but also like rogue aliens. They're like, I don't give a fuck about shit.
Yeah. There's this really cool movie
the Galactic
called The
Federation, bro. Look it up.
Oh yeah, space cops. No, it's silver cops.
No, this is an actual thing that people are saying. There's a Galactic Federation, and that when we're ready, they're gonna welcome us into the Galactic Federation.
Yeah. Oh, it's like Star Trek, dude. The Vulcans are the First Contact. Star Trek First Contact.
Yeah, I want it all to be real,
dude. Seriously, I'm so into sci-fi.
Jesus was an astronaut, bruh.
That should be like the name of a band or a song.
Jesus was an astronaut. I saw this funny. Do you remember?
He died for our sins.
This funny ass meme was like alien. It was like a drawing. It was aliens talking to us, and they're like, hey, where's Jesus? He comes and visits us every year. And we're like, well, we killed him.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we can wrap up with this. One of my favorite Bill Hicks bits is he's talking about how it's like these people that speak, truth to power and want peace and love for everyone. We always end up fucking killing him. It's like Jesus killed, Gandhi killed, JFK killed, Ronald Reagan injured.
It's just people who upset the established order, man. They can't have it. There's always been, power.
That was a thing in the 60s. I mean, Medgar Evers, JFK, RFK, MLK.
Nixon.
Nixon survived. Malcolm X. These guys that, the CIA had a big file on John Lennon. They had files on fucking
They started the drugs
everybody.
To destroy the hippie movement,
They created AIDS to kill the gays.
I didn't say that, but they.
They
had to disrupt the hippie movement. So.
They definitely did, but it's all interesting. Life is a very strange and weird
it's
place.
Not as black and white as I thought.
Oh no, everything is shades of gray, my man.
I love it. I'm starting to get into that shit.
But it doesn't bum me out because I can't control it. I can just talk about it and have fun.
That's
and
what makes
live the best life.
I think that's why I get into it because I realize, like, truthfully, nothing matters.
Yeah.
So therefore,
nothing else matters.
You give life meaning. That's the whole point of it. Is you give your life meaning.
Yeah, dude.
Because nothing matters.
Yeah.
Eventually, the sun's gonna go away and the universe is gonna collapse in on itself.
But we're pretty lucky. I've got a good job. I have a good place to live. I've got friends.
We get to talk shit on camera.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Yeah, let's keep it that way, everybody. Support the Patreon, Snake Pit Studios.
Yes, sir.
Hey, thanks, Roy.
Yes, sir, man. I'll do it again anytime.
Have a happy Thanksgiving.
God bless.